Hi, I haven't done one of these in a while. This is another In Point with Dorin Anghelescu. It has been a very weird election season, and now we are into the Christmas season. And I just want to say to all my friends, now that I have shut my Facebook page down to only my friends and I am no longer public, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. For my Romanian friends, Crăciun fericit și la mulți ani. Or is it Arnold New? Anyway, this election season has brought out the worst in us. And for the first time, really in a long time, I fear for the safety and stability of the nation and the people in it. It has gotten to the point where I don't know if I want to retire here in America. I'm grateful for the opportunities I have, and I am a full time medical student earning my degree, and I look forward to staying in school. It is my main focus, and this May I'm going to take my NCLEX and I'm going to pass it and become licensed practical nurse and go to work and continue on with my education, working my way up to registered nurse of orthopedic medicine. um, some of the hate and the things that I have been experiencing is not going to slow me down. But I have to be honest with you, I have lost quite a few friends. I have lost quite a few friends because I feel like I have been thrown under the bus by people who are either ignorant to what this administration stands for people like me. And I fall under several categories: immigrant, bisexual man, sexual minority. Um, uh, I mean, we all have it. I mean, pick one. I mean, I'm an olive skinned Latin guy from Romania. Um, uh, but it just seems like every once in a while it keeps unfolding and getting worse. And I lost another friend just this last week after his chosen his girlfriend of choice and I got into it. And I don't think that she remembers me, but the last time that she was out here to this area to see him, and she was at one of his parties. The one thing I never told my friend Craig is that because of her religious faith, and once again using my Christian faith to promote and foment your intolerance and prejudice, I'm going to call you out on it. Um, I was an abomination because I date other men, and uh, abomination against God, and I counteract with, God made me who I am, and Jesus commanded that we love each other. To which she replied that she doesn't like me at all. And if her and my friend ever move in together, my friend Craig, it was plain that basically I will not be welcome around the house anymore. Well, we got into it on Facebook, and now Craig himself unfriended me and wants nothing more to do with me. That's fine. Um, I harbored no ill will to him. I kind of expected this was going to be coming anyway. He lost his wife of 30 years and is reminded of it on a regular basis, and he's still hurting. And I get it, and you want someone next to you at night who wants to be there with you more than any other person in the world, and I understand that. Um, I harbor no ill will to him. I just don't want to see him hurt. But I'm afraid that I am going to be one of the first of his friends that she is not going to get along with, and he is going to end up paying the price. And this again is because of this election season. It has brought out the worst in us. I am seeing people coming into the hospital with injuries over fights that they have had. There have been some gay men and women coming into the hospital who have been the victims of violence. Uh, Black people who have been the victims of violence. Um, Violent crimes, hate crimes are on the rise. And I refuse to believe, after 59 million of the voters that voted, and put Trump into office, that there's like, what, 10,000 we're supposed to believe of people who are white supremacist racist? No, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Um, and I'm grateful for all my friends here on Facebook, even though I have thinned them way down. the Randy Graffs and the Republican Party, and basically anybody who is, if you steered real hard to the right this election cycle, I'm sorry, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I know what this administration would mean to people like me and other minorities, and I think that a lot of the people who voted for Trump this election cycle are just like the ones who voted for Hitler back in 1935 who were Jewish. I think he's going to turn and burn your ass. I just hope the rest of us don't get burnt along with it. But meanwhile, I'm just going to stay focused on the things that are important. I am just going to go ahead and live my life and prepare an exit strategy if necessary, and continue on with my education and get my degrees. Because at least knowingly, Bachelor of Science as orthopedic nurse, I am employable then nearly anywhere in the world. Because there is a shortage of us, especially if you are a dude. If you're a man like me. I want to get into this profession because several years ago I was hit by 2 cars, and I have had nearly every bone in my body broken. And if it wasn't for the nurse who looked at me and heard the diagnosis that I would make friends with a wheelchair and never walk more than 150 feet, he says, we're going to work until we find that part of you that sees a diagnosis and goes, oh, bullshit. And he did. And now I'm doing the same thing, so I want to pay it forward for the next person that comes in to the hospital who was like me. Wakes up in traction where the only thing isn't in a cast and isn't in a cable and isn't hanging from weights is my right arm. Yeah, this is the only thing that was not broken. So, anyway, with all that said and done, I just want to remind my friends that this is probably going to get worse before it gets better. But in this election season, remember that this is the 6th of December. It is also Christmas, the birth of Christ. And even though that there's a lot of Christians who have given Christianity a bad name, and I believe that there is absolutely nothing Christian about the right whatsoever. Not anymore. Not anymore. That if I have one word of advice for any of my friends is, don't let these wicked people set up shop and camp out in your head. Remember, Christ said to love one another and to love each other. And even if you're not Christian, that can still be accomplished anyway. And I guess the only other thing I just wanted to say is the holiday season. Those that are still friends, we often choose them and they become more of our family to us than family. And sometimes this is true. For those that are still with you this holiday season, be grateful that you've got them. And thank them for their friendship and their love. And if you have the time, and if you have the will, find out where the nearest LGBT shelter is. There has been a lot of young people who have been thrown out of their homes this year because of who they love and because they are gay, something they are born with they cannot change. There are people who are going down to LGBT shelters and finding young people who have no family or no one and pick them up and take them home and invite them to Christmas dinner and to spend time with them. And become like more of an adopted family. This is Christian faith. This is what Christ was all about. If you can find it in your heart to do so, is a wonderful thing to do. And for all of our neighbors of color right now who are hurting, I know that there has been a retraction from everyone. Remember that not all people look at you as someone of color. They look at you as a friend that they admire and someone that they love. And try to keep that in mind. This nation took a serious turn for the worse. There's a lot of people out there right now who are butthurt on both sides. I hope that things don't get any worse. But if animosity amongst us does not decrease, it probably will. I could just choose not to be part of it. And I am afraid that I am going to find out that a medical career is going to come in handy for all the broken people who have been beaten or attacked or even possibly shot or something, who very likely could be coming my direction. And I will treat them and help them get back on their feet. So, for whatever it is worth, Krishn Fericit, Lamorts Anundu, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Okay. No aptabuna tutor, which means good night all.